Welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? Sorry for the delay. I had some little kitties running around. As you can see, tonight's episode is going to be featuring a special guest. I'll bring him on here in a little bit. But just a little bit about where the topic came from. The other night, I think it was when Mischief and I were playing 7 Days to Die, somebody asked us about where we thought Judas was. If we thought he was in heaven or hell. Because Judas, hung himself. I'm going to read the verses here in a second. But it was a very perplexing question, and one that I hadn't really thought about, and kind of caught me off guard that I hadn't really thought about it. So I want to start off by reading Matthew 27, 3 through 10. It says, when Judas, who betrayed Jesus, saw that Jesus was condemned to die, he felt deep regret. He returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, and said, I did wrong because I betrayed an innocent man. But they said, what is this to us? That's your problem. Judas threw the silver pieces into the temple and left. Then he went and hung himself. The priest picked up the silver pieces and said, according to the law, it's not right to put this money in the treasury. Since it was used to pay for somebody's life, it's unclean. So they decided to buy the pauper's field where strangers could be buried. That's why the field is called the Field of Blood to this very day. This fulfilled the words of Jeremiah the prophet, which states, and I took the 30 pieces of silver, the price for the one whose price had been set by some of the Israelites, and I gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord commended me. So I just wanted to bring that in for a little bit of context about where we're coming from. And at this time, I'd like to bring on my special guest, the Bearded Nerd. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Hello, and thank you for having me on.
I forgot to check. Free's normally here to tell me if the audio is working, and I cannot get I can't get any of the feeds to work. Awesome.
I can hear you. Let me see if I can hear myself. Yep, I got me on there.
Okay.
Sounding good.
Awesome. So as you can see, I didn't exactly get the picture figured out for having a guest on, but I did the best I could by cropping some pictures. But do you have any initial thoughts on the and the reason I called it self-harm instead of suicide is because I didn't want YouTube to directly strike me, but I have no qualms with talking about suicide.
So, first and foremost, before we even dig too deep into this is something I've been praying about and thinking about all. First and foremost, if you or someone you know is thinking about hurting yourself in any way, shape, or form, know that you guys are not alone. Mm-hmm. You are important. You are worthy. And you are loved. And you are loved by someone higher. And please reach out to somebody. Do not hesitate to reach out to somebody because people love and care for you even when you think they don't. My DMs on Discord or X are always open, and I will give you my phone number if I need to. You are always welcome to reach out to me. You can text or call 988 at any time, and there will be people on the other end of that line to help you. So please do that. Scripturally, so you want to go ahead.
I was going to say the same goes for me. My DMs are wide open. If you are in need of talking to somebody, I don't care if it's 4 o'clock in the morning. If I do not respond, keep on calling just call me on whatever you can until I answer. I give you full permission here and now to do so.
Same. Anytime of day, it doesn't matter. I will end a stream to talk to somebody because that's important. People individually are important to me. So I'm sorry. I'm kind of out of it with this cold and stuff. So ask your question again. What was your direct question to me?
I was saying, do you have any overall opening thoughts before we fully dive into the topic?
Um, I come from a pretty messed up family myself. Family has a very addictive personality, so I've been through a lot of things myself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to I want to start with this, and then later on I'll open up about some of my stuff. But I used to think that mental health was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's not. It's
Nope.
not. But we'll get into that later. I used to always make fun of people for it, and um, I still have my views on suicide and self harm, that kind of thing. Um, but it looks different now than it did. So that's kind of like the way I would say open it, because I'm sure we'll get into the meat of this in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you're the guest. Would you like to do the honors of praying us in, since Pastor Rick's not here today?
Definitely.
Thank you, brother.
Lord, I just ask you to be in this conversation, God, and that if there be just one person listening that needs to hear this, that they're here tonight, Lord God. And Lord, I just ask you your words to be on our lips and not of our own thoughts, Lord. And we just ask you to bless this conversation and bless those that are listening. We thank you so much for what you're doing. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. And I see we got Leanne in. She says she can hear both of us. And Sheena saying, this is something I struggled with for years. Praise God, I don't need to do it anymore. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into it at a certain point. I'm not speaking for Nerd, but I have dealt with suicidal ideation in the past. It's not something I'm proud of, but we'll probably get into that later. Just had a couple of bad times in my life, but so I kind of kept the same format. And for those of you who are wondering where Pastor Rick is, he was doing some stuff with OCC today, and I felt really bad about pushing off the podcast from last week. So we're doing a special episode with obviously the bearded nerd being the guest, and then I believe next week we're going to try to do the rest of Romans, but we'll see how that goes with my internet situation. I'll be somewhere else in the States, staying in a hotel, so if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I will see you the week after. But my first question, like I said, I kind of kept the same format where I just normally ask questions and then we have a conversation afterwards. Is what does the Bible actually say about suicide?
You know what's funny is I did a little bit more research afterward. And strangely enough, this is one of those topics, like, we've all been told the same thing about suicide, even spiritually versus even worldly. And I'm like, man, I've never really dived to try to understand suicide, and I think I could have done better. This is like, no, if I had like 2 or 3 weeks to really sit and try to figure this out. I like not like knocking because you just asked, but I tried to do some diving, and the Bible never really says you can't. But what it does talk about is who you belong to, in murder and of those kind of things. And that's where I kind of pull my notes back up, close, trying to close things down because I wanted to open the podcast on my main computer, close them out.
No worries. And while he's pulling that back up, if you guys could repost and share wherever you feel comfortable, that'd be greatly appreciated. I know that this is a topic that a lot of people deal with, so I feel like it might help somebody. But we are very appreciative that you're here. I will say that in the conversation, because we were talking it out live on air, it was Mischief, myself, and Freedom Isn't Free. And I was looking it up, and I forget where. I think it's in Mark when Jesus is describing. Well, not describing, but he names Judas as the son of perdition, which means destruction. And obviously, this is after Judas betrayed him. And you know, destruction is very heavily intertwined with hell. So I don't know if that was an indication or if that was because Judas essentially destroyed his own life in a single moment when he turned his back on Jesus. That was just one of the things that had caught my eye when I was doing like really quick research, because I told Mischief and Free to answer first so I could have time to be like, let me see if I can find something real quick.
Pulling up. I looked it up right now. I think it's John 7.
Oh, John 17:17? Is that right?
This says 17:12, but
Oh, okay. I was close.
so John 17:12. While I was with them in the world, I kept them in your name. Those whom gave me, I have kept. No, you. Nothing.
Are you still there?
Can you hear me?
It sounded like do you have a noise suppression or noise gate on?
I do. I started mumbling a little bit. I apologize.
Okay. It just sounded like it was
I was trying
cut
to.
out.
I was trying to speed read to get to where it was at. So, yeah. So right here it says, "Those whom you gave me, I have kept. None of them is lost except the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled." So that's one of them that says it. But
What's up, Free? Speaking of Free, he appears.
oh,
But yeah. So my follow-up question to that one in my original was why does Scripture include accounts of suicide but offer no explicit command about it? Like in the example that you just read, he says that those who I'm trying to remember the exact words, those that he were kept with him, except for the son of perdition, which to me indicates that Judas isn't in heaven.
yeah.
But how come it doesn't outright deny it? I know that the Bible tells us that our body's a temple to God.
Yes.
And that, when you're taking your life, you're destroying that temple.
Correct.
But there are so many other, like idolatry. It is directly called out multiple times, but suicide is talked about, but never like, hey, this is an absolute, if you do it, you're going to hell. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I think this is one of those topics, like you said, this is going to either rile people up or really going to draw people together. But we have to understand that God knows the intent of our heart.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I will share my personal belief. I believe suicide is a sin. And if you commit suicide, you will go to hell. Because you are self-murdering. And I didn't steal that from him. But in a sense, it is self-murder, right? Killing yourself. You're destroying the temple of God. And I've had this conversation a few times. I mean, even as a younger Christian, first starting to believe, trying to understand this kind of stuff. And the conversation that I've had with a pastor in the past was, God understands the intent of our heart, and if you try to change your mind that last minute or something happened, you're dying. You ask for forgiveness because you truly want to. You change your mind. You don't want to die, but it's too late. Will you be in heaven that day? Will you be with God? If you're truly seeking forgiveness, yes, God will forgive you. Truly seeking forgiveness. That doesn't mean that you go pop a bunch of pills and you're going to wait until you're almost dead and then ask for. God knows. You know, it's not, can't trick
Yeah.
God. Like, oh, I'm going to kill myself and then I'll ask for forgiveness and I'll be in heaven. It doesn't work like that. But I think this is one of those things where the intent of our heart is very important.
Mm-hmm. So that leads me to where it gets very personal with me. My pawpaw, he was a veteran, and he suffered. I don't know, because I was young. I was 8, I think, at the time, and this was a very hard year for me because 3 of the people that I looked up to, aside from my dad, all died in a very short amount of time, which was my granddad, Dale Earnhardt, and my pawpaw. And it was like all back to back. But one was cancer. We all know how Dale died. And then pawpaw killed himself. But when dealing with the PTSD, or not in the case, from what I suspect, he developed a split personality, right? And one was normal, how he was beforehand, before everything happened, and then the other was very mean, very violent, and his mind was not in the right place. So I guess what I'm getting towards is, if your mind's not there when you are committing suicide, like if you're not in the right mental state and your heart is, because he was a Christian and he was set on the Lord, but he just, I don't think he was in the right state of mind when he ultimately took his life. And
Yes.
that's something that I've struggled with ever since we talked about it the other day, because I never really thought about it.
And I think it does come to, like you said, he's not in the right state of. And again, we don't. This is some of the, not necessarily speculation, but it's hard to know for sure. But knowing how gracious God is and how loving God is, he understands our heart. And if he truly wasn't in the right state of mind and out of a place that he couldn't control because of something happened in his mind, I don't think that God would judge him and condemn him to hell because of a choice that he made not in the right state of mind. It's hard to, like, it's that intent of the heart. That is always the biggest thing, is the intent of the heart. Was he in the right state of mind and just said, never mind, I just want to be done? Or was it like, I can't take this, I need to go, and he's in the wrong state of mind? That's a very tough thing to think on. This is a very hard subject.
Oh, undoubtedly. I've lost. I've kind of really lost count of how many close friends I've lost. Now that I'm actually sitting down and thinking about it, one of my best friends growing up, who I could literally throw a football field, yeah, like I could throw a football and hit his house from where I lived. I think he had a bad combination of pills and alcohol when he was at a Halloween party. And I think he might have done it on purpose. But we never got the coroner report, so we don't know. His mom never... Well, we got it, but she never opened it. So we don't know. And then I had another friend who was very ambiguous if he meant to do it or not, but got hit by a train after drinking and getting in a fight with his brother, and tried to walk home on the train tracks and got hit. Those are the two that stick out to me a lot. And I know both of them, especially, I about said his name, especially the one that grew up near me. He was the one that got me really interested into a church that was around us that I went to for a long time, and we were both pretty big on being Christian. But it's one of those subjects where like you kind of put it on the back burner in your mind and you try not to think about, and then like once you start thinking about it, it's like kind of obsessive. Like that's pretty much all I've thought about all week since that conversation that we had with I can't remember if it was Chief Mustache or the no, it was he has a funny name. He just subscribed the other day. I'm hoping he pops in today. But so Liberated had a question. He says, "Do you guys think the thoughts that people get that do this suppression from the devil or just mental illness?" I mean, it could be both.
I think it is. I think it is. But well, I think a lot of mental illness is oppression from the devil. I do think that I think a lot of mental illness is it's a way to attack someone's mind, take them out of being able to do, be themselves, do what they're called to remove them from a situation. But it also depends on. Again, this is one of those. I don't want to tiptoe around it, but it is a very sensitive. Is it something that you brought on yourself, or is it, a chemical imbalance in your body, or what is this thing that caused it? Trauma or what caused that mental illness? I think that's a big part of it too. I think there's a lot of factors you can't blanket it. But without a doubt, I know the devil uses that stuff to rob the kingdom and try to lock. I without a doubt, I know the devil uses that stuff.
Yeah. By the way, I think your noise gate is a little aggressive.
Let me turn. I think I might turn it too much.
I don't know if it's just me
that.
or chat. Is he coming through a little choppy at times?
It's probably because of the noise gate. I just turned it back down. I turned it up a little bit when the kids were falling in the living room. And it doesn't help. Like, I can't talk my normal volume because of my throat being all jacked.
Yeah, don't strain yourself. But yeah, just think about, like, the byproducts of what... Like, when I say mental illness, what comes to mind? To ask you a blank question. Or point-blank question. Okay. And transgenderism is what, as Christians would say, evil. One, you're denying what God designed you to be, which is literally spiting yourself in the face of God. And that's like the literal definition of bite off your nose to spite your face. Because you, depending on which way you're going, you're either chopping something off or adding something, and then you're adding hormones or testosterone, which really, really messes with somebody. Even if you're a dude and you take testosterone, it really messes with your mind. I can't tell you how many of my friends... what was that, 3 months ago when I had bronchitis, and I took steroids to, boost my immune system. I even could feel like a difference in my attitude. Like I was a lot quicker to be agitated and angry, and one, I don't like that. But think about doing that to somebody's body that is not even slightly able to handle or ready to handle that. And then the other way, adding estrogen into a man causes irrationality. That came out wrong. It's not what I meant. Messes with your mind. That's what I was trying to say. Not saying that all women are irrational. But, and Sheena brought up a good point. She says, some of it I think is the devil, but I know for me, once I got baptized, the desire to self-harm disappeared. Also, consciously working on my mental health and trauma. One, I'm really glad to hear both of those things, that as soon as you got baptized, it disappeared, and that you are still consciously working to improve your mental health and working through your trauma. But the Bible tells us when you're baptized, it's not just dunking yourself in water and coming back up. You are literally laying to rest your old self and being born anew. That's what baptism is. But so I wanted to ask you, do you think like the stories of like Saul, Judas, Samson, which we'll get into here in a little bit, because I find that case quite intriguing. Do you think it's descriptive, prescriptive, or something else?
Why you gotta have such hard questions? My brain's not functioning right.
I tried to give you at least some sort of a lead time. I'm sorry. I gave you more of a lead time than I give past Rick. I'll put it that way. Normally it's the night before. I'm like, I forgot to do questions. Hold on.
So, is that question actually on here? Where is it? So
It's the second one down in the bullet points.
So, are stories like Saul and Judas?
I wasn't even going to try to pronounce the third one. I suck at biblical names.
Ahithophel? Ahithophel?
Yeah, that.
Ahithophel? I think that's right. I mean, I think a little bit of. I think it's all. I think it's like all of the above. I mean, I know you wanted to get into Samson later, but that's the one that like comes to my mind the most, because people are like, "Oh, he died. He killed himself." But did he purposefully go out of his way to take his own life?
So
why did he do that?
So for those of you that don't know, I'll give a brief overview, and you can correct me if I get anything wrong. I'll leave out the beginning parts about, well, I guess I'll just hit it. So, essentially, he finds a wife that he's going to marry. And when he's going to, I think it's when he's going down for the party, he comes across is it a lion first or a bear?
I believe it's the bear.
Okay, he comes across a bear, literally kills it with his bare hands, no pun intended. And then goes down, has the party, makes a bet. It's eluding my mind. What was the bet that he made with the 30 men?
I'm actually hold up.
Crap. It was something to do with. Oh man, they were trying to, because they go and they beg his wife to tell him. Oh, he gives them a riddle. That's what it was. He gives them a riddle, and they essentially cannot solve it. And if you can pull it up, you can tell me what the riddle is. So they beg his wife, and she finally gets the answer from him and gives them to the men. And as retaliation, I completely missed an entire part of the story. So he is set apart by God at birth, which means he cannot touch dead bodies. He can never cut his hair. What's the other one? Well, he's supposed to be celibate. There's a fourth thing. I am absolutely struggling today.
I'm gonna pull that one up too. I just pulled up the riddle. I got the riddle.
So what was the riddle?
It is, out of the eater came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet.
Okay.
That was the riddle, and then
so he was a Nazirite. And a Nazirite is a person who takes a special vow of dedication to God I'm trying to look it up. Hold on. Tell me what it actually is. I'm trying to find the rules. Why is this in a foreign language?
He is not to drink wine or eat any fruit of the vine, touch dead bodies, or shave their heads or beard.
Okay. So the celibate thing I made up. Sorry. See, I can be wrong too. I'm often wrong.
And that's why we check the Bible. That's why we check the Bible. Always fact check. Always fact check.
Yeah, 100%. So he goes and he gets really mad at his soon-to-be wife, and or was this the one that he was married to? No, that comes later. So he goes and kills 30 men from a neighboring village to grab their clothes to pay off his wager, and then gets mad and storms off. And then I'm trying to remember. I'm just going to pull up Judges. Hold on. Because this is going to drive me nuts. I feel like I keep on forgetting stuff. Okay, so we're in Judges 16. If you guys are reading along to my awful interpretation. Oh, wait. Is it 16? No, it's 14.
14,
okay.
14.
Trying to find the part where they kill him. So is that in 15? I need the "we're doing it live" button.
This is how Bible study actually works. You gotta dig in, gotta figure it out, talk through it.
Okay, there we are. So later on, at that time, at the wheat harvest, Samson took a young goat and went to visit his wife. He said, "I'm going to my wife's room," but her father would not let him go. Would not let him go in. "I was so sure you hated her," and he said, "I hated that I gave her to your companion. Isn't her younger sister more attractive? Take her instead." Samson said to them, "This time I have the right to go, or to get even with the Philistines. I really want to harm them." So he went out and caught 300 foxes and tied them tail to tail in pairs, which is just the fact that he caught 300 foxes is absolutely mind-boggling. It's hard enough to catch a cat. So he fastened a torch to every pair of tails, lit the torches, and let the foxes loose in the standing grain of the Philistines. He burned up the shocks and standing grain together with the vineyards and the olive groves. So essentially, he was just like, "All right, bet I'm going to hit back even harder." And the Philistines figured out that Samson's the one that did this, and they killed, to get revenge on Samson. They they burned her and her father to death. So then Samson says, "Since you acted like this, I swear I won't stop until I get my revenge on you." He attacked them viciously and slaughtered many of them, and he went down and stayed in the cave of the Rock of Edom. And if you haven't read the story of Samson, it's absolutely wild. I did a whole devotional on this for my men's group, and I did just a full-on deep dive into it one day, and I was just like, this is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So the Philistines went up and camped in Judah, spreading out near Lehi. Can't talk either, apparently. The people of Judah asked, "Why have you come to fight us?" And the Philistines responded with, "We have come to take Samson prisoner, to do to him as he did to us." Then 3,000 men from Judah went down to the cave to the Rock of Edom and said to Samson, "Don't you realize that the Philistines are ruler over us? What have you done to us? He answered, I merely did to them what they did to me. They said to him, we have come to tie you up and hand you over to the Philistines. Samson said, swear to me that you won't kill me yourselves. Agreed, they answered. We will tie you up and hand you over to them. We will not kill you. So they bound him up with 2 new ropes and led him up from the rock. As he approached Lehi, the Philistines came towards him, shouting. The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. The ropes on his arms became like charred flax, and the bindings dropped from his hands. Finding a fresh jawbone of a donkey, he grabbed it and struck down 1,000 men. Which, if I could, that would be... I think one of my cats is out. I just heard a loud kerthump. If I could peer back into time, that is one of the events I would cautiously like to see. Because I want to know if it was like quick or...
How long did this battle take?
Yeah, because 1,000 men, that's no mere feat. The cat has now reached me, apparently. It is in the studio. But, so where was I? He said, with the donkey's jawbone, I've made donkeys out of them. With the donkey's jawbone, I've killed 1,000 men. So, long story short, he ends up marrying Delilah, correct? Is that the... Oh, there's 2 cats. Did you all get out? Somehow all the cats are out. That's great. I might have to take a quick break and go put them back up because they will start tearing stuff up.
No problem.
So... I think Delilah was who he married next, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so essentially he marries this woman, and the Philistines are in league with Delilah and try, 3 different ways to get him to reveal his weakness, and he gives them like, oh, it has to be like these certain bowstrings that have never been touched, and, you know... He happens to wake up with the bowstrings attached and the Philistines attacking him. And he's like, ha! Snap. And then she begs and pleads and says that, you don't love me and stuff like that. And long story short, he tells her the truth, which is that if his hair is cut, he loses all of his strength, which is a part of being the Nazarite. And... they cut his hair in the middle of the night, and they bring him into this great hall that has massive pillars. Does it actually describe how big the pillars are? I can't remember.
I think it says great. I think it says great pillars.
Okay, I didn't know if it went into...
They're huge.
So if you think about like the old Roman buildings, those massive pillars, that's what he was tied to. And... I'll read the actual death of Samson, which starts in 23 in chapter 16. It says, now that the rulers of the Philistines assembled to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon, their god, to celebrate, saying, our God has delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hands. When the people saw him, they praised their God, saying, our God has delivered our enemy into our hands, the one who laid waste to our land and multiplied our slain. While they were in high spirits, they shouted, bring out Samson to entertain us. So they called out Samson out of the prison, and he performed for them. When they stood him among the pillars, Samson said to the servant who held his hand, put me where I can feel the pillars that support the temple, so that I may lean against them. Now the temple was crowded with men and women. All the rulers of the Philistines were there, and on the roof were about 3,000 men and women watching Samson perform. Then Samson prayed to the Lord, Sovereign Lord, remember me, please. God, strengthen me just once more, and let me with one blow get revenge on the Philistines for my 2 eyes. I skipped over the part where they gouged out his eyes. Then Samson reached towards the two central pillars on which the temple stood, bracing himself against them, his right hand on the one and his left hand on the other. Samson said, "Let me die with the Philistines." Then he pushed with all of his might, and down came the temple on the rulers and all the people in it. Thus he killed many more when he died than while he lived, which is an astronomical thing to think about. So I think in that, God literally put him in that situation to where he, one, teaches a lesson about relying on God even at your weakest moment, which I think is a big part of Samson's story. But yes, he did kill himself, but he did so in an act worshiping the Lord, trying to rid the world of evil.
So it wasn't like trying to just kill himself to take himself off earth. He was in an act of destroying the Philistines, which were against his people.
Yep. And he was actively calling upon the Lord in that time. Where it said, "Sovereign Lord, please remember me. Please, God, strengthen me just once more." You know, he's calling out to God in that moment of weakness.
Can you imagine that, though? It says
No.
more than he's killed before, right? We know
And
he
he
killed at
literally
least
just-
1,000. He just killed
Well,
1,000 people, so
Yeah, and there wasn't a number on what he killed after he burned the village, or not the village, the grain. You know, you have the 30 men in the village that he just slain to fulfill a wager. It's quite nuts when you actually stop and you think about it. But I'm going to put it on a Be Right Back screen. I hear one of them digging. Oh, do I not have a Be Right Back screen? I'm going to put it back on an intro, and I will be back in 2 minutes.
okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I thought OBS was broken there for a second. I see Kate's here. What's up, Shelton? Thank you for the follow. Great to see you. Sorry about that. I literally had to go wrangle a herd of cats very quickly. But so, you know, we kind of talked about Samson and his sacrifice, and What's your opinion on how he went out?
Blaze of glory. Like that's these people have been against him for so long, and he's been fighting them constantly. And finally, he asked God, like, just this one last time, let me finish this right here, right now. Let it be done. Take me
Mhm.
with them. I'm done. Let it be done. And God grants it to him and gives him the strength to pull down the pillars and crushes all of his enemies.
Yep. I was trying to find it very quickly in Hebrews 11. Where's it at? He is listed as one of the faithful by name. Um, Trying to find the actual verse. If I could actually type. Sorry. In verse 32, it says, "And what more shall I say? I do not have time to tell about Gideon, Barak, Samson, uh, Barak, sorry, uh, Jephthah, and David and Samuel, and the prophets." So he's obviously listed among the faithful. So I think that goes back to our original intent, or our original. What did you put in the chat? Are you putting sirens free? What is that? Cats? Oh, the cats fighting. I gotcha. Yep. But I think that goes back to the intent of the heart, and when we were talking about God knows our hearts and why we do what we do.
And I truly believe that is a big part of this is understanding the heart.
Mhm.
I mean, suicide for me is one of those things. Um, I don't want to skip all of your questions. You got a lot of really good questions here, but it's one of the things that was on my heart for tonight is just to be open and honest about things, and
Mhm.
uh, we have to root this out one way or another. And being that we're both have a connection to the Lord, and we have an opportunity to talk to. There's 13 people here watching, listening. There's an opportunity for people to come forward and talk about things in their lives, but hard for someone to do that without knowing that other people have been through it too.
Mhm.
Um, if you will, if you give me just a few minutes to talk about myself, the experiences in my life, and some of the things that changed,
Oh, of course.
and
Yeah.
I'll do it quickly. Um,
There's a
Again,
reason
first and
why I
foremost,
picked
guys.
you. We've little spoiler. We've talked behind the scenes a little bit about some things that we've been through. So I figured that Bearded Nerd was a very good person to bring in on this topic. One, because he's a very I'm trying to phrase this correctly without sounding like I'm trying to be mean. Like, you're a little bit softer than I am. Um,
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. No, I understand.
like,
Don't mistake
like
my meekness as weakness, all right?
yeah, that's what I mean. As I am not, but you're very well spoken, and you know how to say things that are a lot rougher to talk about in a softer manner than I do. Um, that's the best way, or that's a better way to put it. So yeah, there's a reason why I picked you. So take all the time you need. The floor is yours.
So, suicide has had a pretty deep history in my family going back years. And I mean, hundreds of years if you really want to get down to it. I've stood underneath the tree that one of my great grandfathers hung himself. Like, that was the thing that our family's like, check out this tree. This is where Grandpa so and so killed himself. Like, that's great. Thanks for showing me that at 9 years old. That's a great thing to know about, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I've lost an uncle, cousin, another cousin, a couple of family friends, and watched my grandpa try to kill himself in front of me growing up. Myself personally, and this is before I knew the Lord, I was probably 16, maybe 17, I took an entire bottle of antidepressant pills to kill myself because I broke up with a girl and I thought it was the end of the world, being stupid and hormones and not understanding life and the situation, how it all happened was terrible. And I thought that was it. That's just it for me. I'm done. I don't want to be on this earth anymore. And I slumped over against the door and I thought that was it, the end. And I woke up with my mom's fingers down my throat, saving me, made me throw up and saved me. Um, I think I was 16 or 17 years old at the time. And that was about 2 years before I met the Lord. But I've always had this, like, after that, always had this thing of if you commit suicide, you're weak. You're worthless. You're a punk. Why are you committing suicide? You're just robbing everybody else. It's all about yourself. You're selfish. And which part of that is true, but it's also not necessarily you being weak. And this is where learning about mental health, I went to a place called University of Health Performance. A lot of people have heard me talk about this place. I spent 3 weeks on that campus learning about mental health and purpose and who we are, and realizing how all these things that we've kind of put on this shelf of mental health, it's all real. It's all there. And we all have a story, and none of them are identical. And that we all perceive things differently. Even if we're looking at the same thing, no one sees it exactly the same, right?
Hmm.
So trying to understand people at a different level, it has changed who I am to understand someone's why. And it softened my heart. God has softened my heart. He put me in this place for a reason. I got to go to that place for a reason. And it gave me a perspective to look at people's why and to realize, like, okay, we're all human and God loves every single one of us. So why should I feel like this person is worthless and weak? What happened in their life or what is happening in their life for them to feel this way? And it took a lot of suffering on my own part and took me through a lot of judgment and a lot of things to come to where I am now in the realization of what suicide is and what it means to me, the things that I've gone through, the things I've seen. Um, and to understand that suicidal ideation and suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts, they're all different things and they should all be addressed differently with the same compassion. um, I myself, and this is where I told my wife, I don't know if she's watching right now, but um, that I was going to be very transparent. We kind of talked about the imposter syndrome before we got started, right?
Hmm.
And I thought it was kind of funny how you brought that up before I'm like, okay, God, I got it. Perfect. Understood. Um, that's something that I have dealt with for most of my life, if not all of my life, for as long as I can actually remember.
Hmm.
I've never felt like I belong, and I've never felt like I can do anything properly. And of course, these are all lies of the devil. I know this now, and but even then, I still fight that. Um, to this day, I have this problem of I don't deserve. This can be really hard to talk about. Um, I don't deserve my family. Like, I'm not good enough for my family, and I love them so much that I don't want to be around them because I feel like I'm not good enough for them. And I have these thoughts, and it's not all the time, it's occasional, but the suicidal ideation of if I was just gone, if I just died today, they would be so much better off. They have my life insurance, they have all these things. They won't have to deal with any of my problems. They don't have to deal with me. And this is something that I suffered in silence with for a very, 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 very long time. Like, I don't even talk to most people about it. Shelton is in the chat, and I've never really talked to him about this. And he's like my brother, like actually like my brother. I know he lives down the street from me.
Hmm.
I've never sat and talked to him about this kind of stuff. I've had those thoughts of like, well, maybe if I just crash into this tree right now, everything will be gone and everybody else will be perfectly fine. They don't need me. I don't need to be here. These thoughts, they are all lies from the devil. Because like I said at the start, you are worthy, you are worth it, you are important, you are loved, and you were created for a purpose and you have a purpose. Do not listen to those lies because those are lies. And I know this for a fact. But I wanted to come into this honest and truthful. We have to understand that not having that ideation, you have to separate that from other things because it's different. I thought that I was alone in this, and after I went to this place, it turns out that actually it's like 96% of, I don't know the exact numbers, but I know it's in that like high 90% percentile of service members suffer from something similar to that. I never got deployed. I don't have PTSD from that. I got PTSD from a lot of other things, crazy stuff that's happened to me, but nothing from deployments and stuff because I got barred from deployment from getting injured and things like that. But there's something that happens in our psyche from everything. I just don't feel like I'm worth it. I don't feel like I belong. I don't feel like I don't deserve anybody or anything. So I separate myself from that. And that's something I'm still working on to this day. This is an everyday, like we have to work on. And exactly, Shelton. And I know there's more than just me in this chat that has felt that before, right? I know it. And not to separate men from women, but men typically kill themselves more than women do. Men suffer in silence, and these are all things that most men will probably go through at one point. Listening to your story, I know you've been through some stuff, and I'm sure it's hit you at least once or twice. You know, we are not alone. You are never alone. And guys, it literally only takes 7 minutes. I saw some study somewhere, 7 minutes of time to change somebody's life. 7 minutes of you listening to somebody to help them get through something. So always be willing to have your 7 minutes for somebody. And vice versa. If you need 7 minutes of somebody's time, ask. Say, hey man, let me get 10 minutes of your time. There will be somebody that'll give you their. So please, and this is separating some of the spiritual part out of it, but in reality, it's not, because this is a very spiritual thing. This is a very deep fight. Understand that you are not alone. So please reach out. We've seen too many people. I've seen too many people. Rez has seen too many people. I guarantee all of us in this chat have been affected one way or another somewhere down the line by some sort of suicide or self-harm. That's another. I used to cut a lot on my thighs. Praise God, I don't have scars, but I did that a lot because I thought it would relieve my tension, and at the time it kind of did, but it's not. Again, it's another one of those spiritual battles. So in all of that, exactly, we are never too busy to stop and have compassion for others. Love. Lead with love. That's like my biggest thing, is lead with love. And so for me, suicide, it started off as a joke, but once I started understanding things, the depth of it is unfathomable, because the ripple that it leaves when someone does that is uncontrollable. It's an uncontrollable ripple, because there's people that, if something was to happen to me right now, I know there's somebody, and again, these are one of those things, this is hard for me to say, but because I always like, oh, my life means nothing to anybody, but there's somebody out there that sees me because of being on stream, someone that comes by that never even says anything. They're there, but they see me. And if something was to happen to me, that would affect their life in a different way. So know that your life is important to a lot of people around you, even if you don't see it. Sorry to hijack that and go that direction, but that was one of the things that had been on my heart all day long, is to make sure that I got that story out there and to give people an opportunity like Rez said, I said it already. Our DMs are always open on X. Okay, always
Mhm.
X, Discord. You see me in chat, whatever it is. If you see me streaming and you're going through something, put it in chat. Like, hey, I need to talk to you, Roger. I'll pause that chat. We'll go into a different Discord. I'll lock everything down. We'll go onto the be right back screen, and we'll do that. And
Mhm.
I mean that. I do mean that. You guys are far more important than a video game. Far more important than a video game. So every one of you people have a soul and you have a purpose and you have a reason for being here. And if I can help you in one way, form, or another, I don't care what it is. Reach out anytime, day or night. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 in the morning, whatever it is. Okay, please reach out. Sorry, Rick,
Yeah.
didn't mean to hijack you there.
No. Uh, you had when you were talking about not being good enough for your family. That really hit me, and I'm glad that you kept on going because I was kind of getting emotional just listening. Still kind of am. Um,
Yeah, I almost cried. You almost got me to cry. I almost cried, guys. It was close. I stopped it. Choked up a little
but
bit.
before I continue on, I want to say hi to CFAM and Mama Nerd. Great to see you guys. I was about to say that I've kind of dealt with all three of the things that you're talking about. Is I lived my life for a long time on a razor's edge. I didn't care. I did very stupid things. There was one of the ones that comes to mind is I almost died rock climbing because I was very careless and slipped off the edge of a rock. And the only reason I'm here still is my friend caught me by the hand. And you know, I always drove recklessly when you're talking about, oh yeah, you know, if I hit the tree. Um, and I've definitely dealt with that. It was abnormal for me to be doing the speed limit. I'll just put it that way. And I mean, there's been more direct times where I've been in a very bad place in my life, and how do I put this? To not state it directly, a jam is the reason that I'm not here, or that I'm still here today. Um, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
Yep.
Um, and I'm not proud to say that. I'm proud that I'm still here and that God has given me this platform to be able to talk to people and have these conversations because I do think it's very important. Um, and you know, to piggyback off of what you said, I I created a Discord uh, because Free and Mischief bullied me into it. And then once I saw the community that we were building on the Discord of having that prayer family, having those people to talk to, having that place to go to when you're feeling down, and having those people that, you know, it's not just me interacting, like there's other people that are jumping in. Um, it's a beautiful thing to witness those people coming together. I don't know why they decided to come together in a Discord ran by a hillbilly from West Virginia, but I love it nonetheless. Um, which goes to the imposter syndrome that we were talking about earlier. Uh, Sorry, I'm trying not to
It's
get
a scary.
emotional.
No, you're good, man. It's a scary thing. That imposter syndrome, man. It's a big lie. It's a big lie to tell you that you don't belong. Because if God has called you to something, why do we have to second doubt it? We shouldn't. We shouldn't, because God has called us to these things and God has put us in place for a reason. And that is a lie that a lot of people deal with in being willing to step out. Like these moments right here, just being, sometimes it sounds goofy, but being vulnerable. I mean, we did this thing when I was at that place called UHP that uh it's called Holding Space.
Mm-hmm.
And holding space means that someone's going to get an opportunity to talk and state what's on their mind, whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is, whatever's going on in their life that's affecting them right then and there, that they want to get off their chest. And no one else is to comment on it or say a word about it. They just state their piece, and that's it when they're done. If they ask for something, then you give them something. But otherwise, you just sit there and quiet, and then the next person will go. Um, Knowing that someone out there is holding space and holding space for you, trust me. If you've ever been in my chat, I have probably prayed for you. If I bumped into you in a store, I've probably prayed for you. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but know that people out there love you guys. Like we truly love you. I don't know 90% of you guys, like Kate, CFam, Gina. I've never met any of you guys. I've never met Free, but you guys are all important to me because you're here, and you are loved. You are loved by God. I can go down the list of people that are on my following page that are live right now, and all these people mean something to me. You've all affected me in a specific way. So understand, like, I know I've said it over and over and over again, and it's so repetitive, and I don't mean to keep just hitting a nail, but you are loved and you are important. And it's not just by me, it's by God. Someone that He died for you. He died for you. And even if it was just you, He died for you. And He would do it over and over and over again. He could have called legions of angels down. Legions. Still, He chose to stay. He chose to stay because He loved us. So just know that you guys are never alone. And if you are in a moment of weakness where you feel alone and you are afraid to reach out to somebody in real life, reach out to God. You should be reaching out to Him first and foremost, but I know it's hard. Especially those that don't really know God yet. It's really hard just to reach out to God. It is. But it's very simple. It's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the song Talking. That's it. It's just ask. Listen to the song Talking to Jesus by Brandon Lake. It's one of my most favorite songs ever. I bawl every single time I listen to it. I love that song because it's all you have to do is you just got to talk to Him. You just have to talk. You talk to Him like He is your Father, and He talk to you like you were His child. He loves you. But reach out, guys. Reach out to somebody. And I'm done. I'm gonna try not to say it over and over again, but reach out to somebody, okay?
I hate to do this, but because of metrics, one, love you too. Free, love all of y'all. I hope you don't mind, but I have to run an ad real quick.
Oh, do your thing, man.
I gotta remember where I put it. Let me go ahead and start this. All right, we're going to hear from Corporate Bot or Corporate Resbot. Like, make sure that the thing is big enough. Alright, here we go. If you haven't already, make sure you download the Rumble app. It's free, simple to use, and the best way to stay connected to the content you want. Once you've got it, search for my channel and hit follow. That way, you'll get a notification every time we go live. No missed shows, no extra steps. You can grab it right now using the link in the description or the pinned live chat. Download it to your phone and you're ready to go. And if you prefer watching on the big screen, Rumble is available on all major streaming devices and smart TVs. Just search for Rumble, follow the channel, and be a part of the action. And we're back. Hopefully you enjoyed the word from Corporate Resbot. That is a recording, by the way. So if I sound different, that's why. But CFam said he pulled me out of a lot of things. Yeah. It's miraculous. Sheena earlier was talking about she dealt with suicide. But I want to quote directly. The desire of self-harm disappeared when she was baptized. Like, God can pull you out of any fire. God joins you in the fire. Like, look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. God was literally there with them. So, um, I wanted to go on to the other side of the coin. I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. What can we learn from people like Elijah, Jonah, Job, oh, goodness, Job, and David, men who wish for death? Like, especially the one I wanted to focus in on is Job. Because Job always sticks out to me because literally the devil threw uh, everything he could at him. And he
I mean,
still praised the Lord. I'm glad to hear that, Shelton. The more the merrier. What were you going to say, Bearded? I'm sorry.
trying to have a better answer than just what first rolls off. I mean, think about the stuff that happened to Job. Wouldn't you want to wish for death? Like after all of that? Truly, I mean, losing everything, literally everything. Like, I have nothing left.
Having
Like
your wife
why
tell you
didn't
to
he?
go die. Curse God
Yeah,
and die.
yeah. Like wouldn't you want to be like, I'm done, God, please just take me. I mean, I'm such a wimp. I've been sick for like 4 days. I'm laying in bed at night, cold sweats, dying. I'm like, Lord, please just take me now. I'm done.
I'm
I don't want
ready.
to do anything. So imagine how bad it was going through all. It's right. He went through it, man. He really went through it.
And welcome in,
And
Cindy. That's the pastor's wife, by the way.
oh, hello, hello. Uh, I had to search. I'm like, where's it at? Uh,
Come here, John.
but but praise God, Job didn't die because he got to see the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think
So,
from Job, I mean, knowing what Job went through, like the
mm-hmm.
stuff that we're going through right now seems pretty small. So I think that's one thing to like. Obviously, perspective means a lot. Understanding and being in different perspectives and stuff like that means a lot.
Yeah.
But learning from Job is like, even in the worst part of it. I mean, having boils on your skin and leprosy where you're scraping it off, right? All your friends look at you like you're a lunatic. Your wife's telling you to just curse God and die. Yet you're still, thank you, Lord. So if he can go through all of that, my financial troubles, my relationship troubles, the things that are going on in this world, they seem pretty small. And what a blessing to have an example of someone that went through some terrible, terrible things and still said, thank you, Lord. Thank you.
It's amazing. Um, I don't know if there's a better example of praising the Lord through trials aside from being directly, literally in the fire or in the lion's pit. But, that was compared to what Job went through, that was a short period. I mean, there's tons of, like, my mind is just flooding with how many people in the Bible were still praising God in their suffering, like chained up in prison and singing hymns.
So I actually just did, that was actually part of my Bible study last week.
Oh, really?
And how amazing is God? How much is there to learn from God that they were sitting there chained up, uh, unrighteously accused, chained up against a wall, singing hymns and wanting to get out of prison, and an earthquake happens and topples the walls, and they walk out, and they have so much love and mercy that they look at the guard and see him about to throw himself onto his sword and say, "No, wait, we're all here. Don't worry. We're going back in." Because in that time, if any of the prisoners escaped, it was your own life. You were going to die. They were going to kill you so you were that prison guard. And look at the mercy and the love that they had for that man, that they were able, not only that, but the way the Spirit worked there, right? They're singing and praising God, and all of the prisoners, the Spirit had to have fell upon all of those prisoners for them all to go, okay, let's just walk right back in, when they were just given a ticket to freedom.
Yeah, the walls literally broke apart, and they're just like, nope, we'll stay right here.
We're here still,
because
just for that one man
and his family. It was more important to them that one man sees God's love than their own freedom. That's mind-boggling.
Yep.
Yep. So a thought just occurred to me, and I want to pivot a little bit. I don't know how these cats keep escaping. They're in a room that's sealed off, and this is the third cat that's come up and has just jumped into my lap. Excuse me. But I wanted to shift to why God allows us to go through like what me and you talked about earlier. Because it just occurred to me how many times I've been there for people who are in the situation that I was at that point in time. I'm like, God equipped me to deal with this, so I'm going to be there for that person and talk them through what's going on and, get them to stop either self-harming or having that ideation or trying to fully go through with it.
That's right. I talk about our story and our why a lot. That's one of my biggest things, trying to understand people. And part of our testimony, these trials that we go through, they are tools. This is a tool. The things that I suffered through, I now can use as a tool to help someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And God says that everything will be turned to good. He will use everything for good. I've been through some terrible situations. My upbringing wasn't the best. I literally watched my uncle make drugs in front of me, cook meth on a stove in a kitchen in a trailer.
I'm sure that was not healthy.
No, definitely not. And I didn't understand it until I was a little bit older. I'm like, oh Lord, that is what he was doing in there. I understand those things now, but I've been through a lot of different trials, so other people don't have to. And if someone is starting to get into one of these situations, I can use that tool that God has given me to speak into their life and to bring life where it seems like there's only darkness, to give light where there's only darkness, and to give salt so there's flavor in this earth, because that's what God has called us to do. So every situation that we go through, there's a reason, and it will be turned for good.
Yeah, and sometimes you going through the struggle that you're going through and people seeing you come out of that is the good. Because,
yes.
As Pastor Rick likes to say all the time, sometimes your life is the only Bible that anyone will ever read. So if they see you in the down, or if they see you down in the muck and down in the dumps, and they know what you're going through, and then you pull that 180, they're like, well, hold on, how'd you do that? Talk to me about how you did that. And that's God giving you the little nudge. It's like, hey, there's one for you. Go talk to him.
That's right. That.
But sorry, what were you going to say?
That's something that's been spoke over myself and my wife's life, especially recently. A lot of the things that we've gone through is there's people that are watching what's happening in our life and seeing how much we rely on God and what God is doing, that it is making a difference. So your trials can make a difference in somebody else. I like that about being the only Bible that someone can read. I like.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Ow! Oh my gosh. The cat just clawed up my leg. That felt great. Yeah,
Walk
your
in
wife
life.
says it right there.
Yep. Right.
Our walk in the life is, or sorry, I cannot read today. Apparently, our walk in life is the greatest testimony we have, and that goes back to something that when I was first starting this, I was having goes back to imposter syndrome, a lot of doubt because I'm not qualified to talk about this. And I actually reached out to Todd when he first started doing his call-in segments. He had Christian Edwards on from King's Council. What'd you just break?
Hmm.
I think one of the cats just pulled down a Lego set. That's fun.
Oh no.
But he had Christian Edwards on from the King's Council, who I've actually had the pleasure of meeting in real life. Free knows about it. He was there. But so I called in and I was just like, I'm not biblically versed. Like I see these people pulling out scriptures left and right, and sorry, the cat's trying to knock over my microphone now. Um, I see him pulling out scripture. I was like, I can't do that, and he was like, well, just that's not your path. Uh, Sometimes you just speak from the heart and speak from experience about what God has done in your life. And I was like, that's a great point. I like that.
Yep.
CFAM said, yes, Rez, that happened to me at work a few years ago. I shared my faith with her. That's awesome. Ow, 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 ow. You guys are driving me nuts. I don't know why they're being so clingy. They normally just go do their own thing. And I do mean that literally. He was clinging to the side of my leg. Um, but it's sorry, trying to get my brain back after getting clawed. Um, oh, you actually remember that, CFAM? Yeah. Speaking from the heart, I mean, sometimes that means a lot more to people than quoting scripture is giving real life examples because some people, and I'm not one of those people, but some people view the Bible as just some stories, right? And if you can tell them, like, no, they're not just stories, God did this in my life, and here's where it happened in the Bible. And you show the parallels of, you know, maybe something that they're going through. I mean, everybody can relate to Job at some point in time of everything's going wrong, nothing's working. What do I do? Um, Having those real world examples, I'm working better or I'm getting better at being able to pull scriptures from knowledge, but I'm still not where it need to be. I know the general story. Well, not story, but the general uh, scriptures I'm trying to say. I just can't remember what they are. Um, are you still there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So I, Discord messing up before we started has really concerned me that anytime you go silent, that it's screwed up again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
That trauma from things not working like it's supposed to.
Speaking from the heart is a blessing and a curse, especially with me. I tell it how it is, but it's always out of love. Some don't like to hear it, or I'm a jerk. Both can be true. I get told I'm a jerk all the time. That's like what I was saying in the beginning. I'm glad that Nerd would come on with me because sometimes you need what did I say earlier, a screwdriver instead of a hammer, and I'm more of
Yes.
a sledgehammer. I tried to soften it a little bit, but I've been told by multiple people that my affect it comes across very standoffish, even though I'm not trying to be.
I've gotten that quite a bit. It's taken a lot of practice for me to not God has knocked a lot of edges off. We'll put it that way. A lot. I've been hit in the face with a shovel a time or two from God to like figure it out. I'm trying to get better at listening to the spirit before I speak, because I can be very blunt, and sometimes a blunt tool is not the best thing to use when you need a
Sometimes you need
surgical
a
scalpel,
scalpel.
Yep.
That's crazy that we
Um,
went the exact same way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You need a scalpel. You got to be surgical sometimes. And uh, my wife tells me, "You got to watch your face." I'm like, I can't watch my face. You got to tell me when my face looks funny, because sometimes I make faces and I don't mean to. I'm like, this, like, especially when people are flat out lying to me, or I know they're dead wrong about something. I tend to make a face like your stupid face, and I'm like, I got to learn not to do that, because they might not know right. They might not know otherwise, right? They might not know. They might think they know. They're incorrect. They're wrong, but they might not know that they're wrong, and I tend to have that, like, are you born in Stupidtown or what? That kind of
Yeah.
thing. And it takes a lot for me to it took a lot for me to get to where I'm at now, where I'm all right, let's slow down and not just throw it all out there. I still do it sometimes, and sometimes I'm a little too honest,
Mhm.
but I've gotten a little bit better at it. It's not easy.
Yeah, Lauren's gone a long way to softening my edges. Um, Lauren, my fiance. Uh,
Yes.
I used to be a lot rougher and cruder, but she still has moments like where I'm. So a lot of what I do behind the scenes is if I know I'm going to have a conversation that's going to get I don't want to say combative, but heated. Well, heated sounds
Mhm.
worse. Uh, there's going to be tension in the conversation. I talk to her through it first, and she's like, "Yeah, you should probably not say that." And I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
noted." But
Yeah.
there's a lot of those times where like I run everything past her. Is like, how does this sound? Like I need to. We have a tenant, and I know that me just giving factual information can come across very mean and blunt. So I send her the text, be like, "How does this sound?" And then she's like, "Yay, no, change this." And she gives me suggestions on how to make it softer. And I am very thankful that God has put her in my life to help me. And when we have conversations with people, she's uh, kind of my barometer of how my attitude should be. Like if she's calm, I know too that it's things are going well, and if I see her start to get a little heated, that's when I know things have gone sideways. Because if she's mad, then something really bad is going on. But it takes a lot to get her mad. But getting off topic. Um,
Pretty good at that. Pretty good at getting off topic.
yeah, that's half the fun of it. I mean, it's just two friends hanging out and just happen to have people watching us talk and interacting.
That's right. That's right.
Um, and we're I know I'm speaking for you at the moment, but we're thankful that you all are here. This is, as I stated in the beginning, it's a very important topic that touches everyone, and that actually rolls into the next point I wanted to talk about, which is how should Christians reconcile God's sovereignty with tragic loss to suicide? Oh, and Sheena, I hope you have an amazing night. Get some rest, and we'll talk to you. I hope to see you at Campfire Talks tomorrow. Um,
Did you ask me a question? I got interrupted.
oh,
Apologize
you're
if you
you're all
asked.
good. I was saying, how should Christians reconcile God's sovereignty with tragic loss to suicide?
Man, that's pretty deep. Um, first and foremost, knowing that I would seek God. This is personal experience. If I was to lose someone now with where I'm at with it, I know that I would want answers, and more than likely you'll never get those answers. But I would seek God first and foremost, and I would pray for strength and courage for myself and for my family around me, and knowing what we know about suicide, it's very hard to. I would grieve deeply. That's
Mhm.
one of those things that would hit me very hard, and it would wreck. Uh, Man,
Oh, are you there?
can you hear me? Did I
Yeah,
do it again?
the last
Did
thing
I
I
do it
heard
again?
was it would hit very hard and
Sorry, I start like trailing off, and it's because I'm staring at the screen trying to think on what I would say.
Mhm.
Because this is one of those things that it's one of those things that would hit me very hard. It would wreck me, and I know that God is over everything. Uh,
Mhm.
know that it doesn't only hurt your heart, but it also hurts the Lord. He loves, right?
Mhm.
God is always good and justice no matter what. We have to trust in Him. That's right. And we have to rely on what God is going to do. And it would be a very, very tough thing to deal with, but we should lean on God and know that He is the one that in control of everything. And uh, God is the author of good, not evil. And I know Mom and Nerd just put it there, but I think that's honestly sums it up the best way is put trust in God and know that whatever's come out of this, whatever happened, something good is going to come out of it. And not meaning that in like a lighthearted manner, but knowing that, like I said before, God will use evil for good, regardless of the situation. So put our trust in the Lord and try to figure out where to move on to next.
Sorry, I'm just taking it all in. I completely jumped around and now I can't figure out where I was. 1 second.
8.
If God numbers our days, Psalm 139, how do we comprehend a self inflicted death as a Christian? And also, CFAM, I'm sorry to hear about your husband's oldest son. That's always hard to hear.
Loss of a child is nothing. Um, knowing that God is the one that He does number our days. He's the one that's in control of everything. Laid it out far far more than we could ever fathom. This has all been written and done. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like it's not to get too far off of this, but just this moment in time, God has already known that this was happened. He made this, he orchestrated all of this, and this is a moment that was given to us to talk about, you know. And for me, from my comprehension of things, and when I look at a self-inflicted death, it's you trying to take control of something that is not yours to control. Because God is the one that is in control of everything, right?
Yep.
And when you do that, that is your way of trying to seize control of God's creation. And that is unbiblical. Um, it's against what God has commanded to do. Uh, Someone not too long ago said something to me about how we can use money as a way of staying in control and not trust the Lord. Looking at like being having extra money is a way for us to not have to worry about our next thing or what is God going to do, and using that as a way of control. And that was the first thing that kind of came to my mind, was that control. uh, I think a lot of times in people's mind, when they make this decision, that really is what it all boils down to, is this is the only thing that they can control, that they feel they have left, that they can control. So they're going to
Mhm.
seize that moment of control, and that it contradicts what we believe.
Yeah.
Oh, see, fam, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. That's
And
awful. Um, well, that rolls into the next question I wanted to ask, which was how should Christians comfort survivors of suicide loss? And more broadly, we can make that as any loss.
honestly, I think trying to comfort somebody in the loss of suicide is really hard, right?
Mhm.
Um, because as the way we believe that that's you taking that control, and that separates you from God, right? You're taking your life separates you from the Lord.
Mhm.
How do you comfort? And this is truly and honestly, the question is, and even the people in chat, how do you go about trying to comfort somebody for that? Because the way we believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like you believe the same way. Obviously the intent of the heart and things like that matter, but the removal, it's you taking yourself out of God's hands. When you do that, is how do you comfort somebody in that? How do you look at somebody, especially a fellow believer? Like, you can't say, he's with the Lord now.
Mhm.
How do you truly comfort somebody from? How do you? I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
this has been one that I've really been thinking on and flip flopping back and forth on, because I'm in the same boat as you. I really don't know. The best advice that I could give, um, well, here I'll tell you the story. So I'd mentioned my friend, the one that lived right across the street from me growing up. When he died, we had a he was essentially the glue to an entire friend group, right? Like all of us weren't directly really good friends, but we were all good. We were all friends through him, and we would all hang out together over at his house and like around the neighborhood and everything. And one of the people, uh, it's my buddy Garen. He please don't call me. I just heard the cat somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Mhm.
Um, it turned into, so for like a week straight, he spent the night at my house the entire time. This happened when I was in high school. Um, which I don't think I really went into it too far. Like that one hit me so hard. Um, so I was supposed to be at the party that he went to, and I didn't really drink at the time, and uh, I just wasn't like a party person really. Uh, and next day, my mom came in. Me and my friend Taylor were sitting there playing I think we were playing Gears of War or something, and my mom just walks in. She's obviously very upset, and I was like, "What happened?" And she was all she could get out was Austin and is dead through her tears, and I didn't cry, I didn't get angry. Um, I was literally just numb, and um, Garen, like I said, kept on coming over and hanging out. We would take these walks at like 2 o'clock in the morning and just talk about life. And we'd always end up right back at Austin's house, sitting in his driveway, just talking and just having that person, which there was many people, it wasn't just Garen, but just having that person to just how did you phrase it earlier? When you were talking about the retreat that you went to, the holding space.
Hold its space. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just didn't want to get that wrong. I'm sorry.
No, no,
Uh,
holding space.
just holding that space, being there with me, and we were there for each other. We didn't always talk. There's a very vivid memory of us just sitting, staring up at the sky like we were laying on our backs on his driveway, staring up at the sky, not saying a word. And I think we were there for hours. And like I said, we didn't have to exchange a word. We were just kept each other company, and having those people in your life um, that in times of need show up. They don't have to show up on a white horse. Sometimes it's just the ministry of presence, being in somebody's presence means the world, and it can change their life. And me and Garen are still best friends to this day. But yeah, I don't. The first time I cried about Austin, oh, well, I'm trying so hard not to say his name, but the first time I cried was actually at his funeral when I saw the casket, because that was the moment where it became real. And still makes me want to cry to this day. But it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's a feel it out process. You one show up. Showing up is 90% of the battle in any situation. But just listen to what they need. They might not tell you directly, but you can pick up on things. Whether it be bring them a meal, stop in unannounced and say hello, just be there for them in whatever role that they need. That would be my advice.
Think that's right. And again, well, I'll just go back to one of my favorite things to say is lead with love. Lead with love. Go in, show love. Give a chance to hold space for them, I guess is the way to put it.
Yep. The only thing that you can do for them is pray and be present.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I left out one of the most important things. Obviously, pray for them. Thank you, Kate.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny though how like as someone that has faith and believes, it's hard for us to like that's just like obviously we're gonna pray, you know what I mean? Like obviously, so that and then it's like, oh, we probably should actually mention that you should pray first. Like you need to pray first, but it's just one of those things. It's there. It's like that's obviously the first step we're gonna take.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that, Kate.
yeah, definitely. It's easy to not put into a sentence because it's something that comes so normal, but it's not normal for everybody.
Can you tell I wrote a lot of these questions like late at night because I was just looking at number 12, the second bullet point. How does Imago Dei shape?
Oh, what's Imago Dei?
I don't know. I don't know what I was
Image
trying to go for. Yeah, I was talking about the image of God. I think that's what I was trying to get to. I know what I was trying to get to was, if you look at what the definition of idolatry is, is you put yourself on the pedestal, either equal to or higher than God.
Mhm.
Is that Latin? Did I pull that from somewhere? Hold on. Now she's got me. Oh, I did pull that from
As
something.
I say, it looks
Okay.
like the image of. I was gonna say it does
Image of
look
God.
sound Latin. Yep.
I don't know where my 2 o'clock in the morning brain got that from. Maybe it was from reading an article. I have no idea. Thank you, Kate. Kate. Do you want to come
I
on
was
and
gonna
just
say it
take my
sounded Latin, but
spot?
I was just like, I was like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe he did mess up, but it sounds Latin. Sounds right.
But the definition of idolatry is putting yourself on either equal footing or higher than God perceived. Obviously, you're not. Um,
Mhm.
so when you're taking that action, like we kind of mentioned earlier, barring all the mental uh, and heart issues that are going into this, if you knowingly make that choice to take your own life, you're spiting God. Do you think that that is a form of idolatry? Because you're putting yourself, you think that you know better than God, is the way that
Again,
idolatry was
that's you
explained to
trying to.
me.
Yes, yes. Uh, I would agree with that. It's again, you're the one that's trying to take control. Like you are assuming that you are the one in control of what God has created, and that is you putting yourself before God.
Yeah.
And putting yourself before God is idolizing yourself, thinking that you're better than God, better than the Lord, and I would say that that would fall into that category. Yes.
Um, so I wanted to we're getting down to the nitty gritty of the very end of the questions. I know we skipped around a lot, but I feel like we hit a lot of the questions I had just naturally. That's the great thing about having a conversation.
Yes.
So I subheaded this one with how does Jesus' suffering and death relate to human despair? And I wanted to dive further and say, can Christ's agony in Gethsemane inform how we understand mental anguish? Because think about what he was going through. He knew exactly what was to come.
Mhm.
Yet he faced it essentially with a smile on his face. He knew what he was doing it for. I mean, he went through, what was it, 40 days in Gethsemane? Was that the 40-day fast
Yeah.
when he was sweating blood?
Yep. Yep.
I mean, the dude was literally so stressed. Disregard the fact I just called Jesus dude. Um,
Talk to him like he's your friend, man. He knows.
but he was literally so stressed about what he was about to go through. He was sweating blood. Now, I've been stressed to the point of sweating, but I've never sweat blood in my entire life. I don't think I've ever seen anybody sweat blood.
He prayed so hard that you know there was some stuff that talked about he prayed so hard. He was praying so hard that it burst blood vessels in his forehead that caused him to sweat blood. So imagine
That
that.
is,
That's wild. I've prayed hard, but man, I've never. I could not imagine that. That would be insane. Just sweating blood, being so stressed out and praying so hard, dripping blood everywhere.
yeah. I
And then
remember,
to come back and the people that are supposed to be over there are sleeping.
yeah. I was about to say, I remember right before the last election, this isn't anything political. It was, my heart was literally tearing for where we were at as a country. And I remember dropping to my knees. It was one of those prayers where if you asked me what I said, I could not tell you. I just
Yeah.
remember the raw emotion behind it. Like I was on the floor, like literally prostrating myself, which sounds really inappropriate, but it's actually not. uh, like crying, and I couldn't even get to that level where like my face was probably red, yes, but I was not busting a blood vessel in my brain from praying so hard, or in my brain, in my forehead. Um, I speak a little Latin, and in Czech, and not hopping on tonight. But I'm glad you picked that out. I wouldn't have even looked it up, to be honest with you. I just figured that my dumb brain would have went off. But um, we talked about that. Like, how does that compare to the mental anguish that we go through?
Hold a candle to that. I mean, he was taking on the world's sin. He was taking on everything
He
from
was
that
taking on
moment
arson.
on.
Yeah.
Yes, not just the people at that time, but the entirety of existence.
Yep.
Sins that haven't even occurred yet. He took on all of it. And if he can sit there and pray through that, imagine how, like, ours is nothing compared.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my kids are a little wild. Are they?
Dude, I'm pretty sure that my cats have been coming through on my end, so I think we're fine. They keep on like just randomly running in the office, meowing, and then taking off running out. So, um, unfortunately, I don't have Lauren here to help me corral them.
No cat
So,
regular in the house.
nah, I'll just have to do it after the podcast. I've tried putting them up multiple times. I don't know if you've heard me take off running while after I ask you a question to go put them up, but I kind of just gave up. But... I've tried to sneak out, but I wanted to go a little bit further, and the one of the last things that Jesus said was, "Why have you forsaken me, God?" And yes, that was to fulfill prophecy, but I don't think it was just to check a box, because he was feeling the abandonment that we deserve.
Yeah.
So how does that abandonment and the sorrow that comes along with that speak to those who are contemplating suicide? Or how should it speak to those?
I mean, when I think about it, it is, imagine an existence where there is nothing of God. Nothing.
That's terrifying.
The world that we live in now, even those that don't believe in the Father, like doesn't believe in God, they experience the love of Christ. Day in and day out, they experience the love of Christ. They see the sunrise. They have breath in their lungs. They experience joy and love. They experience these things, right? Even though they don't fully comprehend the Father and understand God.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a place where none of that exists because God is not there. When you do that, that is something that you are willing to walk into. You're willing to walk into a place where God doesn't exist. It's the complete absence of God. So the complete absence of happiness, joy, love, kindness, compassion, in a way that we can't even fully wrap our minds around yet, right? God's love is more deep than we even can fathom now on earth. Yet,
Mm-hmm.
when you take your life, you are willing to walk into an existence where Christ is not, where nothing is there. And that's, the Bible talks about how it will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And I've tried. I have actually turned out lights, sat in the darkest, quietest place I could, tried to fathom a place without Christ.
Mm.
And just sitting like that and trying to force myself to feel that way, it brings on immense sorrow. So imagine it
Definitely.
really happening, you know? And that's how I would explain it to somebody is, you know, he went through that, so you don't have to.
That's a very good explanation. Um, Bearded, I want to say thank you. One, for being so open and honest and having this conversation with me, and two, for doing so in such short notice. I know I asked you like 3 days ago to come on here, but I'm very thankful that you did, and
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure somebody got blessed with that. Um, do you guys mind if I do one quick ad read? Can you, for the creator program, does it count if you do two in the same stream, or does that matter?
You could do all three. I usually do three in one and then two in the next, and that counts.
Okay. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to actually have to read this one because I don't have a pre-recorded tape. But we'll be right back with Bearded Nerd. And we'll say our goodbyes. But let me accept this one. And well, my cat meows. Maybe is it gonna let me actually start it? That'd be nice. All right,
If
transition over. Um, you probably noticed Rumble. It's growing fast and it's not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get ad free viewing across the platform. No pre rolls, no interruptions, just the content you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind the scene drops, um, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium, promo code STUDIO. No ads, more freedom, and the content you actually care about. That's the deal. All right, thank you for that, nerd. Um, you still with me?
Yes, sorry, I was muted on accident. Well, on purpose, but forgot to unmute.
So Bearded, where can people find you and what do you do? We probably should have done that before the stream actually started, but
You can find me at the Bearded Nerd. That's two D's at the end, nerd. NERDD, the Bearded Nerd. I primarily play video games, shooter, looter, extraction games. So I like extraction shooters are my bread and butter. You'll probably see me playing Tarkov a lot for the next week or two, and Arc Raiders probably for a very long time, guys. But we play a lot of video games. I like to do stuff like this. So when people invite me to come do stuff like this, I love to talk about Jesus. The way my stream works is everybody will understand it's God, family, community, video games.
Mhm.
First and foremost, it's always going to be God. My faith and the Lord takes priority over everyone and everything in this world. And then my wife, then my kids, and then you guys, all of the community, everyone that's watching, and then we play some video games. Um, I'm gonna start doing some cooking streams and some painting streams and some other random stuff. Just to you guys will actually get to learn who I really am, why I'm so nerdy, and why I'm called the bearded nerd. My wife told me the other day. She said, "Hey, why don't you start doing the things that you really love to do? Start showing people some of the stuff you like to do." I love to paint things. I love to 3D print and paint models and build Legos and cook. I love to cook. I'm an excellent chef. I cook very well. Did culinary, did all that kind of stuff. Cooked with some phenomenal chefs. Uh, so eventually some of that stuff will be coming out there. But you guys can find me there. Do you mind if I drop a link in your chat real
Oh
quick?
yeah, definitely go ahead.
So I'll drop this link in chat. This is my flow code link, guys. So you can find all of my socials there, as well as Discord. Mainly, this is why I'm putting in here the Discord. Follow me on X and then hop into the Discord. Please get into the Discord. I started a new prayer request channel. I suck at responding in Discord. I promise I'm trying to get better, but please use that. I got some ideas in my head about making a spot where we could hold space. Maybe once a month we can all go in there and hold space for each other. Do it virtually. If we can't do it in person, maybe we can do it virtually in Discord. Maybe we can get Rez and some other people in there, and we'll hold space for each other. Where if you got something going on that week or that day or that month or this year, whatever it is you want to talk about, you go in there and we'll hold space. We'll give you a couple of claps and then on to the next person, and that's it. You get stuff off your chest. You don't have to worry about being judged by anybody else. And I hate the term safe space, but actually build a place that's safe and loving and not
toxic.
Not that weird liberal sense of safe. Okay.
And Mama Nerd said very well cooking skills.
Yes, I love to cook. I really do. I made some mean pork green chili burritos tonight for dinner, and
oh, that sounds delicious.
It was. I cheated. I didn't make it all from scratch, but it was still very delicious.
So here's that flow code when we do the campfire talks in real life, you're the one cooking.
Oh yes, dude. I will fire up some good stuff. Maybe we'll be able to get some steaks, and I'll make some good food. Some steaks
sounds good to me.
Some really good crispy baked potatoes, bacon. Oh yeah, I got some. But that flow code page right there, guys, follow me on everything, but primarily X and Discord, so you guys can reach out to me if you need anything at all, ever. And I will do my best to respond. And if you got to call me on Discord, call me on Discord. And like Rez said earlier, bug me until I answer. Sometimes I sleep hard, especially right now because I've been taking NyQuil. So please feel free to reach out to me. And I'm going to get that holding space thing set up. I got to talk about some logistics and stuff and get with Mama Nerd and figure out what's going to work and what days, because it'd be better at a nighttime. Maybe one Friday night a month or something like that. Something that we can work out together. Get everybody
just
in
let me know. I'll be there.
All right. That sounds good.
All right, ladies and gents. We're going to raid out to my friend Arkham, who I had on, was that 2 weeks ago? He's playing some Ark Raiders, which is probably what I'm doing after I get off here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to Bearded Nerd for coming on. I had a wonderful conversation, or we had a wonderful conversation.
Yes,
my speaking skills are going out the window. But thank you all for being here. I love all of you, and I hope that you all gained something from this episode. And until next time, we'll see you.